इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to each and everyone who has joined us today for this webinar. I, Archana Sharma, welcome each one of you to Business Opportunity Over Chai webinar series by Franchise India. Franchise India is 23 years old business consulting firm with presence in 80 plus cities and with 275 consultants who is helping day in, day out all the investors in providing the solutions, suggestions on a different business opportunity so that you can take a conscious and informed decision about the franchise. And no one sells more business than us. We truly claim this because we have helped more than 5,000 brands in their franchise expansion through our offices. And we have helped more than 78,000 investors in getting the right business from us. Welcome management team of Franchise India for this particular webinar. This webinar is hosted by Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. During the course of the webinar, we'll take the correct and complete understanding from the brand as well as we'll take all your queries. So we request each one of you to share your suggestions, your question and answers in Q&A box. The brand which we are presenting you today is India's leading commercial space designers and transformer. Blue Design is the brand we are presenting you today, and we welcome and invite Mr. Niladri Mukherjee, who is the founder and MD. Along with him, we also invite and welcome Mr. Manpreet Singh, who is the director at Quicktile. Thank you both of you for joining in today. But before we start the formal session with you, I would like to introduce as well as welcome Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am to talk about the great financial year which we have just passed. So over to you, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, to talk about these figures.
Thank you, friends, and welcome. Welcome to another great edition. And we're going to talk about the opportunity and why we are so excited about the opportunity and why we chose the first day of our financial year for this particular opportunity to be presented. And I will, before I talk about the opportunity and I introduced our panelist, I will pass it for 1 minute to Sonia to share what our financial year at Franchise India has happened. We always had celebrations whenever we closed our year and we went out and told what we achieved for our clients and what we did for our businesses. So over to you, Sonia, for quickly taking everybody through, and then we get started with our webinar.
Thank you so much, and thank you, friends, for joining in. And I would say, as we close the financial year, we closed at yesterday. We all look forward to a very, very promising 2021-22, and we really hope that this year brings prosperity to everyone and that you all achieve sustainable success in your venture and businesses that you choose yourself or through Franchiseindia. So we wanted to take a small moment to thank all of you for staying with us and making us strong in this difficult times. Stay connected with us, and also for choosing us as your advisors. And it is this community, I would say, this investor community, business buyers, you're the most dependable ecosystem that Franchiseindia has, and you have been the foundation of Franchiseindia because of the patronage that we enjoyed for the last 23 years, being a franchise-centric and an investor, franchise-focused and an investor-centric company. Our purpose was always to make every Indian reliant for better lifestyle and resources through entrepreneurship. So, friends, so very quickly, we achieved, unlike many other years, while I would say in terms of our top line, this might not have been one of the best years, but we still had, lot to maybe celebrate and achieve. So when I say we did not outperform on the top line, but what I would say is we did outperform on the depth of our relationship, our reach, our knowledge, and also most important was the talent retention, which made Franchiseindia resilient and I would say sustainable, where we started exploring new growth zones. So very quickly, this is what we achieved in this year, where we raised almost about 800 crores for our clients. We did about 16 resale deals in the last year, 16 master franchise deals for India and Bangladesh, and about 946 franchise deals. We generally close about anything between 8 to 9,000 on a year. A normal year. This is what we did last year, about 6 capital raise cases and 541 brands which came into franchising for the very first time is what we introduced to the entire community of business buyers in this year. And 8 M&A deals that our team of consultants worked in this year. And all the brands you see up there, we like to thank all the companies who trusted us, all the investors who trusted us with your decision of choosing us as your partner of growth. So thank you so much, friends, once again. And I will again request Mr. Maria to formally invite and introduce the company Glue Design, and also the promoters, Mr. Niladri Mukherjee and Manpreet Singh ji and Saket ji, all welcome to the webinar.
Thank you, Sonia. It's been a fabulous year. When we had this lockdown started, nobody really thought that Franchiseindia would be able to raise 800 crores and deliver about 900 plus franchise sales. And yesterday alone was a phenomenal year. The last login we did was 1140, where somebody really paid the money and wanted to do in the commitment for the year, which shows that even in this year there was a lot of people out there. And I can tell you, I'm more excited about what we did is fine, but what we are more excited about that 5 lakh people joined our webinars and seminars, attended us, and they wanted to be interested in franchise. So I particularly am more excited about this year because the foundation, we really put that effort, and I thank my team. Not even a single Sunday, not even a holiday, no Holi, no Diwali, no New Year. They missed out not delivering the business. And that's the value which they came. And I think all their hard work would all reflect in 2021, 22, 23, because we build a community of people who are now interested to look at businesses. So let's start with today's webinar. Very important day. We are starting our first day of the financial year. Very important year. We all coming from difficult year, and we all have high hopes, both at our country economy and also our businesses to really not only come back, but start thriving. And what business we really brought in today is actually solving a big problem. When I started Franchiseindia 23 years back, I saw that problem. And today, when I am 23 years down the line, I see even a bigger problem. Now, that's where I got very excited when I heard this from Mr. Niladri, that he has an idea of solving this problem. The problem is that we have a very unorganized retail in this country. And India has the highest penetration retail density in the world. To every 80 Indians, there is one store. In America, to every 150 Americans, there is one store. So we have a highest retail density in the world. There is no way. हमारे से ज़्यादा दुकानदार दुनिया में कहीं नहीं है. सबसे ज़्यादा दुकानें हमारे देश में हैं. लेकिन ये दुकानें सारी अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैं. छोटे-छोटे किराना शॉप्स हैं, छोटी-छोटी और शॉप्स हैं. कोई फार्मेसी चलाता है, कोई किराने की चलाता है, कोई किसी और ब्रांड उसकी चलाता है, कोई हार्डवेयर की चलाता है, कोई बर्तनों की चलाता है. ये सारे जो बिजनेसेस हैं, ये बहुत सारे अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड बिजनेसेस हैं. और एक तरफ हम ये मॉडर्न रिटेल की, जब किशोर बयानी ने शुरू किया, मुकेश अंबानी ने शुरू किया, इन सब की बात करते हैं. लेकिन after 15 years of Mukesh Ambani running Reliance Retail, he also realized the opportunity in India is not about modern retail. Please carefully understand. After 15 years of putting almost about 50,000 crores, he realized that opportunity was not about Reliance Fresh or Reliance this and Reliance that. It was about modernizing retail, which means that जो छोटा दुकानदार है इससे मेहनत कुछ ज्यादा कर नहीं सकता है, ये मेहनत सबसे अच्छी करता है, सबको अच्छा है, इसको अगर मॉडर्नाइज कर दिया जाए तो कंज्यूमर को बेटर एक्सपीरियंस दिया जाएगा, प्रोडक्ट डिस्प्ले बेटर हो जाएंगे, जिससे जो ब्रांड ओनर्स हैं उनको बेटर वैल्यू मिलेगा. आज ब्रांड ओनर्स की प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि वो किराना के अंदर अपना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं डाल पाते, उनको शेल्फ स्पेस नहीं मिल पाती, उनको वो डिस्प्ले नहीं मिल पाता जो उनको चाहिए एक्सपीरियंस करने के. तो उनका चैलेंज वो रहता है. कंज्यूमर का चैलेंज रहता है एक्सपीरियंस. कंज्यूमर को अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए, प्रोडक्ट ऑप्शन चाहिए, राइट डिस्प्ले स्ट्रक्चर चाहिए. तो ये जो एनवायरनमेंट है, मेहनती उससे ज्यादा कोई नहीं है. जो आज किराना का ओनर है उससे ज्यादा मेहनती नहीं है. उसकी प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ ये तीन ही चीजें हैं, जो बेटर एक्सपीरियंस, better product display or product display, and third is supply chain, which is also a big challenge in India. Out of these two, the current opportunity which we're going to present is all talking about that. How can we modernize our unorganized retail and empower this small Kiryana shop owners also to become a better looking brand? ये बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है. अगर आप यूके की इंडस्ट्री को सर्च करें तो बहुत मैच्योर रिटेल मार्केट है, जिसे हमने एक्चुअली इनहेरिट किया है. ब्रिटिशर्स से हमने ये रिटेल एनवायरनमेंट इनहेरिट किया. अगर आप यूके को देखें तो आप अगर आज सेंट्रल लंदन भी जाते हैं तो इंडिपेंडेंट रिटेलर्स सबसे बड़ी कम्युनिटी है वहां पर. 90 से ज्यादा % इंडिपेंडेंट रिटेलर्स हैं. लेकिन क्या ये किसी चेन से कम है? आंसर इज नो. दे आर एब्सोल्युटली सेम एक्सपीरियंस, बेटर एक्सपीरियंस समटाइम्स, and they give this deliver entirely. And that is the problem which I think we are trying to solve with today's opportunity. The company which Niladri ji has started, his own parent company, has now launched a new brand called Quicktile, which is we're going to talk about that. Niladri ji खुद बहुत experience product design entrepreneur हैं, जो National Institute of Design, जो सबसे बड़ा institute है इंडिया का डिजाइन से, वहां से qualified हैं. And he has been consulting over 200 plus companies, almost every top name in the country, from Unilever to down the line. They have been their clients. So it's my privilege to have Niladri ji on the call, and his colleague, Mr. Manpreet Singh, also on the call. So they are going to take us through the presentation first. We'll go through a presentation, and after that, we'll take a lot of questions. Use a Q&A box and talk about this, any questions you have. जितना हम इसको इंटरेक्टिव रखेंगे उतने हम इनसे क्वेश्चन पूछ पाएंगे. क्या ये अपॉर्चुनिटी हम प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं? This is a fabulous opportunity, and stay tuned. So over to you, Niladri ji, to introduce your company. Maybe start with introducing yourself, how your really journey started, and then we went on to the opportunity with Quicktile.
Thank you, Mr. Maria. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Archana, and welcome to everyone who's here. It's great to get this opportunity to talk about this story, which actually, let us say, began about close to 30 years ago. I graduated 30 years ago, and ever since then, we've had three aspects of specialization. One was actually developing products for companies, meaning it could range from automobiles to phones to. So we worked on the side, we understand it from the industry's perspective. The second area was really retail. In fact, what happened is that we started working with ITC Limited, and we started with their cigarettes. This is about 25 years ago. Subsequent to that, actually, we worked with almost all the new categories, all the new diversifications. Actually, we helped them strategize and launch complete new products. So all their brands, Bingo, Fiamma de Wills, etc., etc. So what I'm saying is that we got a real hands-on experience with these small guys. You know, there's hundreds and thousands of small guys. And our specialization slowly began that we understood the challenges that each of these small retailers faced on a day-to-day basis. We understood the challenges from the brand's perspective, you know, what challenges they have in terms of being able to, from supply chain to displaying products, etc. So we somehow or the other got to be fairly expert in trying to find solutions for these small retailers. So I'll quickly cut to chase. So about 8 years ago, this problem that we saw that all the brands were putting in a lot of money into modern retail. like Mariaji was saying, that Reliance put in, and even there was this whole thing about modern retail, or even ITCs of the world, PepsiCo's, all of them invested a lot of money in modern retail, but effectively modern retail did not grow. It did not grow as planned or as expected. Um, so, so we saw that actually there were a lot of challenges which actually nobody was addressing. And we needed to solve it, and we researched it. We spent a lot of time researching it, and finally we thought we had found a solution, which we filed for patent about 8 years ago. And this is the story about where we've reached. So I'll share my screen, and then I'll quickly take you through the presentation. Okay, so we call ourselves Quicktile because I think we are focused on creating solutions and opportunities for next generation retail. There are lots of common words that everybody's using these days, but I think in the course of the presentation, I'll try and share actually where we are and what is it that we're focused on. Yeah, we will walk you through who we are, how we got to developing the product, what is the industry size, and what is the opportunity there. How is our product different or solution different from anything else and from the competition, etc., and what the opportunities are. I think everybody knows that actually there is a great opportunity in this whole so-called unorganized, independent retail space. So this is our background. We've helped brands. We have actually created solutions, environments, strategies for brands to build their own complete retail network, be it a company-owned store or a franchise store or a multi-branded outlet. So we work with all kinds of brands, meaning from FMCG to high-end garments to electronics, etc., etc. So this is where our experience and we learned from actually helping these brands launch new products and categories across India and abroad. And the solutions range from small little things all the way to the complete retail chains. And the expectation was that we had to study the customer and we had to create solutions that would be deployable on a high volume, large scale. I think some of you might remember that bingo plastic racks suddenly came out on the landscape. That was actually engineered and done by us as well. We have designed fans, we've designed phones. So this is where our background has been. So to quickly tell you the story is that we started in 1999. And since then, we have worked with design and innovation and helped companies in various aspects, be it developing products or be it taking products to market or taking them with the retail strategy and how to deploy their products in the market and gain market share from competition. And also to the extent of actually taking it all the last mile, even to exhibiting them products. So we had retail design, product design, and exhibition design. About 2014 is when we filed for patent for Quicktile. It is a small little thing which you will see, which we think is going to make a massive change. It's just a 10-inch by 10-inch metal tile, which we hope will make a radical change in the landscape of retail in India. Then what we did is we started working with Hindustan Lever. We focused on, at that point of time, developing the range for the small kiranas and the chemists. What we saw was the small kirana challenge was they didn't know how to modernize. Actually, they couldn't see themselves in the new avatar and they didn't know how to do that. So we worked with Hindustan Unilever and we actually developed the complete comprehensive product range that any kirana guy needs today and will need for the next 10 years. We developed working with their team, and we tested it out on 4 or 5 outlets. In parallel, we were working with All India Chemists and Druggists Association. They're the largest distribution house. And we developed the chemist pharmacy range, product range. So what we noticed is the solutions were either carpentry or it was essentially just supermarket kind of racks. Now, supermarket racks haven't been developed for emerging economies. They work for America, Europe, etc., where the store sizes are larger. Whereas here in this country, you have 100 square feet, 150 square feet, store sizes are smaller. So the idea is meaning the need was to use every square inch of space. So which is why it said that we needed to develop something that was specific for all emerging economies and countries like ours. Then we actually raised money. We had 3 rounds of funding. people who believed in us and who funded us are actually specialists in what you could call offline retail. Boston Consulting Group's MDs, Mr. Haminder Wazir, who was a KSA Technopack. Actually, at that point of time, there was no one looking at how to help these small guys modernize and be prepared for what today is they're faced with. So we have actually people on who have invested in us and put their faith in us, even from Singapore and from Indonesia, who also quite understand the Indian situation. And where we are at now is that I think our validation is complete. Our back-end manufacturing has been completely sorted. We've actually rolled out 400 plus stores of kiranas and chemists, and we have rolled out about 400 more stores, which are rural stores. We've opened up, in tier 3, tier 4, small little villages. We've set up IFCO bazaars. We've helped IFCO actually go to obscure little places where their agro products can be retailed. And we also focused on the premium supermarket. So this is where we're at. We've done about 1 lakh square feet of premium supermarket space. Going on, what we believe is that actually we want to affect big change. Because the opportunity in India is the need for actually change is massive. So this is an area where we're focusing on. Our vision really is actually mobilizing people and ideas to be able to create an environment, become a catalyst for the change that takes place in large numbers and volume. So this is our mission really, actually. So we've got a team. We've got a fairly young mobile team, meaning currently we're based out of Delhi. We have a small base in Hyderabad. And now the idea is to expand across the country. Our manufacturing base is in Manesar. We have a very large facility across metal, wood, digital printing. So in retail, we have a capability of delivering all kinds of solutions. Essentially, the core team, there are 4 of us, meaning I've already, I think Mr. Maria has already introduced me. Manpreet has 20 years of experience in retail. And also, I think in terms of global benchmarking, Manpreet has actually worked with we were managing HCL Technologies exhibitions globally. So we learned from the best across the world. So a lot of our learnings from how it happens in the West in terms of benchmarks of quality, systems, etc. Manpreet has been very instrumental in getting that kind of knowledge and experience into our company. Now Roma handles our brand and visual communication, meaning in terms of if anything is needed from a retail branding perspective and consulting, Roma has been handling that. And Saket has about 27 years has actually set up and built global teams across IT industry, hospitality, etc. And I think we're very lucky to have Saket with us because operationally, I think, in terms of scaling this whole company up, Saket is a key person in the core team. So I'm getting to the unorganized retail opportunity. I will take you quickly through these slides because some of these, because I think we have a targeted time to close. So like Mr. Mario was saying, nothing, the neighborhood kiranas still been the same, meaning it's so many years after independence, but these kiranas and the chemists haven't changed. New economy has come in, chains have tried to make inroads. Our buyers, our shoppers have changed, meaning in the last 15 to 20 years, the people who these kiranas were servicing, they have suddenly changed. It's a younger population, completely clued in what is happening in the world. So their expectation from as an experience of what they want to buy, how they want to buy it, is completely different. The need, like I said, they want to browse, they want to touch and feel the products, they want to get a variety to choose from. Effectively, there is a need. It's very clear that the shopping environment is a very, very key sort of thing today to be able to sustain your retail enterprise. So the challenge we saw is that, meaning the old setup guys, nobody had come there and understood their problems or told them that this is how they could change, meaning the only reference they got is from modern retail that they would see if, Big Bazaar would open a store. So they didn't ever think that, they can be something like that. And this is more or less what you could say is we are in a way selling hope and giving their small shops dreams to become big. Now, what interestingly happened is, I think when the COVID came in and everything shut down, only 2 categories stayed working. The kirana stayed open and the pharmacy stayed open because they were essential services. So what this has resulted is actually a lot of the other retailers who have been involved in other categories suddenly realize that actually, these are the two categories which will always be operational. And I think in terms of pure sales, these two categories have never done better in the last, I think, 20 years, 30 years. So now post-COVID, actually this time when everything else was closed, I think, and people were locked in their homes, they have had a lot of time to sort of understand how they buy, what is it that they need. The shopper is back, the stores are open, but their expectations are actually clearer and even higher. Meaning they demand, it's almost like a properly planned and designed store is something that they will visit, and if somebody is not doing that, they will not visit that store. So retailers are, meaning now that it's opened, there is a shifting that is happening, and some of the old retailers are facing the problem here. Now, meaning actually, when this word modernizing is a fairly generic word, and sometimes people take it to mean that, okay, I'll just change some fixtures and I modernize my store. Actually, no, modern shopping experience has a lot of sensory fields. It is light, it's product visibility, it's not just the fixtures. It's the hygiene and sanitization aspect which has become fairly critical. So the expectations of these guys is much, much higher. Right now, this is who we are addressing. The shoppers is whose needs are what we are addressing, and actually we are connecting the retailer with the needs of the shopper and the needs of the brand, thereby helping the retailer in the middle benefit from this. Market size, it's 900 billion now, meaning last year. So we are expected in 5 years to be 1.4 trillion. These are updated figures, meaning compounded growth. This market, overall retail market, is growing 10% literally around that year on year. But if you look at the structure, your traditional retail across all categories is really still king. It's 85% is still unorganized, independent individual guys, right? And even if you project the growth from e-commerce competition or from modern retail, it would still stay at 77%. I think some figures meaning. So the penetration of e-commerce or the challenge from modern retail is not is going to take its own time in terms of evolving or taking a chunk of the unorganized retail market. Now, if you look at the below on the left, you're saying that actually the growth in grocery itself, meaning is 25%, and it could be, meaning this growth is predicted to stay consistent at that till 25. And you look at the penetration of organized retail, the ratio is very low. It's about, organized retail is just about 8%. So the opportunity is here. The opportunity is massive and is now clear and highlighted and in front of everyone. So food and grocery. So if we take the whole world of retail, FMCG constitutes 65% of the whole retail industry. Yet it's the most unorganized. Meaning the pan-India population per store density is about 125 to 150. There are about 12 million stores in this country by current count, and they're growing here. Actually, it's suddenly the growth in terms of more people setting up stores is growing. The percentage is growing. Now there's only 3 to 4% is organized. So, but the overall sales in terms of is growing 20%. So, and on one hand, the demand for FMCG is growing, but the fact is, it's clear that this unorganized segment is just poised to get empowered to be able to meet the demand and even surpass the demand that is coming from the market. So customers want to move into modern units. More and more retailers whose businesses have been adversely affected are now looking to actually move into kiranas or even pharmacies as a diversification, as a future-ready diversification, you could say. So like 98% traditional retail was in 2013, it became 96.3. So it's just, more or less in 2023, it will still be 92.1%. Now, similarly, the pharmacy retail is the same story. It's still 95-96% is unorganized. So the market size will be from 14.5 billion. It will go up to 30 billion by 2024. 10% growth year on year. The market is largely unorganized local players, but what has happened is lot of small guys now are saying, I will not only open one store, but I would like to open a chain of stores. So they are looking for help in terms of how to enable them to be able to not only open one store, but is there a way in which the potential to open up, more franchise chains? So the competition will come from smaller chains, tier 2, tier 3 chains who want to set up small pharmacies. So that also is an opportunity as far as we are concerned. There are 1 million pharmacies in the country, and like I said, 4% to 5% is organized. So here is this again, meaning the unorganized contributes 80%, 85%, and it's 95% is unorganized stores. Okay, so summary is the challenge is that 96 to 97% is still totally unorganized. Top 100 cities in India by population account for 250 million or 18% of the population. The top 6 cities is really 100 million all told. So which means that actually 94 cities hold anywhere between 10 to 11 million stores. So our focus is really not the top 6 cities. Our focus is on actually the 94 cities where the shopper or the brand, where there is a need for them to actually access, meaning global standard quality of shopping or retailing. So what I want to iterate is we are currently focused with the kiranas and the supermarket and the FMCG space and the pharmacies and chemists. But effectively, the needs, if we extrapolate on any other category, be it spare parts, or even if you say shoes, multi-branded stores, or garments, so or confectionery categories, so this our market is enormous. So where we are focused on is we are focused on the unorganized retailer who's alone, independent, and who doesn't at this point of time actually know where a lot of the solutions can come from. So this is our mission, and this is our whole thing, is to become the brand where any independent retailer, if he needs anything to do with how we can better his business, will think of Quicktile. That is really our goal. And this obviously needs the participation on the ground across cities, across the country. And this is where we need partnership from you. We need partnership and help from you to be able to take these products and these solutions and these assistance to tier 3, tier 4, to each of those cities and towns that actually offer this potential. So there are 3 innovations. The initial one is called Quicktile. It's a small metal tile, which actually all you do is just screw it onto the wall, and everything else sort of just latches on. You don't have to paint your wall. All you do is you throw out your earlier stuff and you tile the walls, and everybody in India knows tiles. This is where the idea came from. So the idea, it requires no special skills. What it really needs is a power drill, and that's about it. Everything is like Lego. You can literally pick and choose and design your store yourself and equip it and fit it out. In what we promise is you can fit it out in less than 48 hours. With the product range or the accessory range that articulates it for all kinds of needs, be it cosmetic products or be it heavier pulses or anything like that. So solutions are there for everything. So first level of a solution is called Quicktile. Then we have another, this is the Quicktile. You can see the tiles actually going onto the wall. And we have everything else for the floor and any other need that he may have for sachet bars, for various things. And the other is called Quick Tracks, which is essentially, it integrates well with Quicktile because normal supermarket fixtures are fixed in terms of sizes, 7 feet high, 8 feet high. So there is a lot of wastage. 15-20% of the space gets wasted because you cannot activate it. So whereas in a combination of Quicktile and Tracks, you actually can activate every square inch of a store. Even the pillars can be merchandised. Spaces at the stairwells can be merchandised. So this is the second system. And also idea is to cover different price points based on a person's budget and scale of business. He can opt for Quick Tracks or Quicktile. And the last one is heading towards a more premium category where we call Quick Fold. Actually, it's very, very easy, quick assembly retail fixtures, which are hinged, folded in interesting ways. And you can activate the store in a matter of hours. You don't really need days also. You don't even need 48 hours. Meaning you can, in 5 to 6 hours, your store can be up and running. but this is at a slightly different or a higher price point. So broadly, we have solutions that, and then there is another more or less, it's slightly more custom, very, very premium boutique retailing. Now, the challenge in one of the systems, one of the feedback we got from the customers is, look, meaning if I want a system that actually reflects the personality of store. If I put a supermarket rack and my competitor puts a supermarket, all these shops start to look the same, you know. So in terms of uniqueness, which is why we have a product category, so the retailer can actually pick and choose. And certain category of retailers want a premium feel. So we've got product ranges across all categories. Okay, so here's some images of before and after Quicktile. So this is a Multan store, which is a 1,000 square feet store. We did with ITC, tested it out, and in 48 hours, this was the transformation, you know. And 2-3 interesting things happened. He cut down on his staff costs, because earlier it was behind the counter, so he needed more staff to fulfill demand, fulfill the orders. Second is, lot more women shoppers came in. You know, earlier the women shoppers would get intimidated standing 4 deep behind the cab. But so suddenly his sales, this guy's sales went up by 150%, has stayed consistent since then. So if a store is planned well and modernized, then there is no limit to what kind of percentage increase from sales one can get. So this is Bombay chemist store, so you can see the wall, we put Quicktile on the wall, and you can actually on the pillar, and you can use it to display and sell products from there. This is a store in Delhi, you know, so I think it was less than 24 hours. His pharmacy was completely operational. Okay, so, and we have, I'll quickly run you, we have accessories. We can actually customize his store, pick and choose exactly what he wants as per his needs, and we help him because our design team is reasonably specialized in this. So we help him actually how to planogram his store, because one of the earlier assumptions we had is that he knows where to keep his products. We realized, no, we can help him from that perspective. And also he earns more revenue from the brands if we help him plan the store better. So yeah, meaning the idea is you can custom design a store very easily. So everybody benefits, you know, the brand, FMCG brand or the pharma company gets better visibility, better shelf space, can run sales programs, which actually can be measured, which earlier you couldn't do in an unorganized space. Retailer, of course, meaning he's got a new format, better space utilization. Footfalls go up by 100%, meaning even Mr. Mandirata of Metro has actually studied the stores we've done, and footfalls have gone up 100% plus, you know. So impulse sales goes up, reduced workload for staff, revenue definitely goes up. And one key thing emerged is actually the next generation of these stores earlier were very resistant to joining the father's business. But suddenly, whenever we've come and talked to them, meaning if father feels that yes, there is a future for his son in this business, and the son also feels excited to do that. Now the customer has great shopping experience, convenience, better assortment, easy browsing. Other than the benefits that the local retailer brings in terms of credit or anything else, home delivery, that's also there. But these are the key benefits that all the stakeholders get. A comparison with other solutions, you know, carpentry is literally reducing. In smaller towns, yes, they do carpenters. So it's designed more from optimal use of board rather than what the shelf height should literally be for a product category. So termites are an issue. You cannot relocate, reuse it. There's no resale value. You know? Supermarket, all solutions that are available in supermarket, they waste space because they have fixed sizes. They really don't, they're not designed for and they don't work for small kirana or chemists. And then they're floor-based solutions. So they're very difficult to clean under. Once you've got the product stacked on them, you can't clean any. Whereas our things are on wall. So you can actually be focused on how to be able to maintain the store, you know, hygiene or rodent infestation, etc. And we have an accessory range that takes care of any category of product that in your store across all. Third is you can make your store look unique. It doesn't have to look like any other store with hot supermarket fixtures. And you can expand or change your category in your store with your business, which earlier, it was very difficult to do. And like I said, pillars and stairwells can be used. So we are currently focused on kiranas, premium supermarkets, branded chains, pharmacies, rural stores, and lifestyle stores. We're just rolling out Usha stores as such, but we want to take this to unorganized as well. For fruit and vegetable sellers, mobile stores, paint stores, and bakeries. So this is our current solutions we have for these categories. We're working on an application where we're actually going forward, meaning anybody can log on to Quicktile, and once he's on in an assistant design way, he can literally get his store design anywhere in the country and can order it from the closest franchise point that we have, can order it and can get it delivered and installed from there. So this should be operational very soon. Then future category expansion is we want to get into luggage. Meaning all the other categories which today are unorganized guy does it. You know, they're very, meaning even in luggage, the number of organized retail players and set up their own stores like Samsonite, etc. It's very few. The opportunities are, and the minute you set up, let's say a luggage player sets up a global standard store, then he has more access to Samsonite, and all the brands actually come there to be able to get their own products retail out of there. In the future, there is an idea of thinking of creating home for products for homes, you know, cupboards, kitchens, because of the modularity of the tile, it's possible for us to actually, you know, it's almost like a kit. You can literally modernize your kitchen without modular kitchens still are customized to a degree, but here you don't really need to. Okay, coming to the opportunity vis-a-vis the India coverage plan. So we've broken it up into four areas. I will just move this out. Right, so North, we are looking at about 10 to 12 franchisees. Like I said, Noida, Greater Noida, I don't have to go into details, but broadly, we've broken it up into 10 to 12 franchisees across the 4 regions of the country. So more details, I think we can discuss at a second level discussion. Okay. Oops. All right, sorry. Okay, so what we are offering is, we will give you all the marketing support that you need, the installation training. We will support you, and we will design the stores. We will design the stores online for you, and we will provide the supply chain, right? And what we look at from a franchisee is that there has to be an experience center, because having an experience center, it's like all these people, when they visit their experience center, they see the possibility of how their store could be. It's critical also. So virtually you can only do it to a degree, but the minute he comes to a store, then he sees actually the potential. His own creative trigger happens, and he actually is able to pick and choose much better. And what we're looking is that you will have an inventory of about, thumb rule is 5 shops if we say 200 square feet per store, but broadly about 1,000 square feet of inventory. We are looking at the partner to develop sales and CRM and payment and commercial terms with the customers, installation and commissioning. So the key end use segment, we're looking at food and grocery, pharmacies, supermarkets, hypermarkets, footwear, apparel, and others. At this point of time, others. Now, initial investment would be totally in the range of about 23.75 or 23.4 lakhs. We are looking for a showroom space, which is about 300 to 350 square feet. Initial warehousing of 500, and I think if the orders start increasing, that this 500 is good enough, but can be scaled up subsequently next year, year 2, year 3. A stock of about 2,000 square feet, right? Stock value about 16 lakhs, a franchise fee and franchise fee of 3 lakhs, an experience center which will cost about 3 lakhs, which will have all these products displayed very well in that, and a pre-budget expense with other BTL expenses that will come to about 2.25. This is trade licenses, launch marketing plan. There is signage, branding and signage material we will provide. Revenue projections. We are looking that actually in the course of a year, let us say if I decode this, rather than put it in shop units, we are saying that, okay, that it is easier to sort of say that, okay, about 20,000 square feet of retail space in the first year. We are not planning to look at a very aggressive target in the first year or achievement. So we're looking at about 20,000 square feet. It could be that you could get one store which is about 300, 400. Suddenly someone wants to open a supermarket which is 1,000 square feet. So the mix is such, depending on various cities. If it's a newer city, then typically you find that people invest in larger stores, which is why we're not taking the metros into the account. So store sizes in tier 2, tier 3 or tier 1, tier 2 towns are slightly larger. So we are saying that the top line will be to the tune of about 2 crores if we do 1,000 rupees square foot all told. Margins, what we are offering is there's a gross margin on the sales of 20%. And we are also saying that on an installation, we'll give another margin of about 5%. So total margins that any partner is looking at is about 48 lakhs. And these are the expenses, staff expenses, about what we budgeted is 9 lakhs per annum. There is incentive reimbursement. I think these details will be many. I think if conceptually, if you're keen and interested, then I think we can go into more details of that when we have more time or in the next session going forward. Broadly, the business is quite attractive and viable, even with just currently 4 or 5 categories that we're doing, right? And the idea is to every year increase more and more solutions for different categories. So one is not going to be ever sort of wedded or stuck in one product range or category. Here, I think the blue sky image is quite vast. So what we're looking from partners, what we look at is like if there is an existing network or a relationship in the pharma and FMCG space, we would like people who know this space well. So and if they have influence in this area, yeah, meaning of course you would want to associate with us, and we would want to associate with you as a brand. And in that area, I mean, this is a lot in some way. Actually, modernization and design is a lot like actually going to a kind of a quote unquote doctor. You know, you go by reference. You believe because somebody actually has gone there and he's had a good experience in this transformation. So a lot of it works, which is why I think the connection in the social segment is quite important. And yes, we'll have to push for it, patience and perseverance and financial bandwidth. So if we're looking at from an operational perspective, we're looking at senior professional from City Pharma, Kirana Association of FMCG, or if it's a completely new, meaning it could be completely from a new category, it could be from modular kitchens or home furnishings, partly in the furniture, fixture, or interiors kind of space, that will help as well, because at least that side, that strengths are there for us. So the other side we can help. And yeah, and we're also looking for investors who take rights for more than one territory. That can be discussed and decided. So, you know, across 5,000 grocery and 500 pharma stores. So to sum up, I think I am almost on time. So I'll just quickly run through this. Yeah, India is a young country, meaning there is growing affluence. As far as meaning I think post-COVID, after the lockdown, the spend in terms of quality of food as something that has gone up. I think people, in I'm talking of tier 1, tier 2. Yes, many prices of all other things are going up, but food is something that people and safety is something that they are willing to invest in. So we want to keep evolving better products and services for various categories, help them more organized, meaning the organized industry is going to come in, there's no doubt, but actually we can help these independent retailers actually stand firm and compete with them toe to toe. So like this is a repetition, but overall I think the market size is massive. Okay, so this is who we are, you know, meaning, so as a process, each store gets customized attention in terms of designing and detailing, which is online, and now with the app, it will become even simpler. We simulate the store. We actually, before the implementation, we are able to give them a visualization of what their store will look like, which is really great for them. And also from an installation perspective, or what we promise we deliver, there is a virtual store that is created for that. So yeah, we offer retail solutions for flexibility, sustainability, and scale. And this from our mother company, Glue Design, constant innovation for new solutions will always keep happening. So after a couple of years, you will find more creative solutions that actually can be taken to either the same market or to new categories. Yeah, so the benefits that you have as a partner is an ever-growing market, you know, and the number of independent retail stores or unorganized stores is really massive. So even if we get a small piece of it, that itself is really a huge market. So there are people who need help in paints and garments and shoes and finally products for young people at home. So we will support you from design, product development, marketing, etc. And I think this is it. And I think I'll take I'll stop sharing the screen. Yeah, and I will hand over to Mr. Maria. And thanks a lot for hearing me out. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a very, very detailed presentation, and I think it gave a phenomenal overview to all our viewers, because it gave us also a transformation before after kind of opportunity, which was really compelling. Because, and just to summarize, and you can add anywhere, Mr. Nadri or Manpreet, if you want to do that. One of the areas which is very important for people to see why this transformation should happen, because a couple of things Mr. Nadri said, but I can add on a few things. The biggest problem with this unorganized retailer today is throughput. With the current design of their store, they are not able to get the right throughput. So just by change of design of the store, actually takes the sales up. This answer, somebody asked a question, why would a successfully running store would transform? If I tell somebody that, look, 300 square feet, put another 3 lakh rupees and your sales goes 1.5 times what you're currently doing, why would anybody not do it? This pays back. It is ROI. It's not interior like you do it for your home. This is a return on investment, and it's an investment which gets you return. So if putting 3 lakh rupees in the store transformation gives me 30,000 rupees more profit every single month, I pay back for the store. I sit in a better place. I am better than the next neighborhood guy which is available. I'll shift the customer which is going to any other place to my place because I'm fresh and new. So this is a very compelling reason why would somebody do that. An answer to that is, more you are doing well, more it would be your need to shift. Actually, it is difficult for a non-performing store to shift because it doesn't have working capital, it doesn't have cash. जो अच्छा काम कर रहा है, जो कामयाब है, वो सबसे पहले convert होता है, उसको सबसे पहले change करना होता है. And if you just show this picture, 2 cards to him, and said this was this store and this is now this, and this does 150% more, people would shift. They would say, when can you start? And it doesn't have a downtime. Second reason, the problem with a lot of people don't shift is that वो धंधा एक दिन का miss नहीं करना चाहते. They don't have a downtime. They don't want downtime. They don't want to go into renovation and close store is closed for 1 month. Retailer को लगता है सारा धंधा ही लोग ले जाएंगे, मेरे पास कस्टमर वापस नहीं आएगा. 1 महीने के लिए दुकान भी बंद करेंगे वो लोग. अगर मैं उनको बोलता हूँ सिर्फ 1 दिन के अंदर हम ये store transform कर पाएंगे, and you will not see, he will not even stop his business. He will still run that business, or he will find a one holiday in or on any day plus particularly would be transformation of the business, or in the night it went work. So it doesn't have a downtime. Second point of this entire. Third, this entire retail business, especially for FMCG and pharma, is turnover or stock. It's a stock turnover business. माल जितना होगा उतना ही घूमेगा, उतनी सेल होगी आपकी. तो ये जो स्टोर होते हैं, ये जो छोटे वाले स्टोर, इनकी सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि वो मतलब अपनी जेबों में भी डाल सकता है स्टॉक. इतना स्टॉक उसका गिर रहा होता है इधर, क्योंकि रखने की जगह नहीं होती. Actually, the problem with everybody is that they don't have a space. It's not that space is not there. It's not designed to that. So that's why if you see the smaller retailers have these all thellas, latkas, all these pieces and that, because they have no ability to do that. वो सुबह अपने स्टोर से चीजें बाहर निकाल के रखता है और बाद में रात को अपने काउंटर पे वापस रख के जाता है क्योंकि उसको जगह ही नहीं रखनी. Suddenly, he finds a lot of space being available to put a lot of things, and he can accommodate more brands and more brands which offer you margin. नहीं तो वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ स्टेपल बेचता है, हायर मार्जिन प्रोडक्ट रख नहीं पाता क्योंकि स्टोर में जगह नहीं होती रखने की. जैसे ही स्टोर बनता है तो he can put a lot of other things which create a better margin for the entire thing. So for better profitability, better throughput, better experience, all these reasons are so compelling and very low downtime. This is a very compelling reason why would they shift. Another opportunity which we should talk about, there are 2 opportunities in this. One is what I call refurbishing, which means the existing stores to refurbish, and there is a huge retail penetration in every small market, big market, A city, B city, C city. Second opportunity is also which we saw in last 1 year. हर आदमी अपने लिए कुछ स्टार्टअप सोच रहा था स्टेपल बिजनेस के लिए. The independent pharmacies and independent grocery stores which are started only last year is remarkable. Probably the only business which has most been done in last 1 year is these 2 categories. And so a lot of startup demand also comes in. People who want to set up the stores, they don't want to go to a conventional contractor or fabricator who does लकड़ी का काम. एक तो वो expensive पड़ता है, plus time लेता है, और high street की shop के अंदर rental waivers नहीं मिलते. आपका किराया आज से शुरू हो जाता है. तो अगर मैं किसी को बोलूं कि आपके पास conventional design वाला है जिसमें आपको 145 days लगेंगे, क्योंकि it is a very wet process. हर चीज पहले ड्राई होती है, उसके बाद दोबारा इम्प्लीमेंट होती है, फिर दूसरी चीज ड्राई होती है, फिर इम्प्लीमेंट होती है. अगर मैं उनको बोलूं कि मेरा प्रोसेस आपको 3 दिन में रेडी कर देगा, 4 दिन में रेडी कर देगा, so you save rental, you save high street rental, and you are able to do that. So for a new store, it is absolutely a compelling thing to do that. So I will start with the first question, and rather I'll have 3 questions collectively, and either of you can answer, Nadi ji. One is a overall opportunity size. कि हम कैसे अपॉर्चुनिटी साइज को देख सकते हैं, कितना बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी साइज. अगर मैं इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को राजकोट में लेता हूं, जो टियर 3 सिटी है, लेकिन फिनोमिनली रिटेल मार्केट है, कहीं पर भी आप राजकोट में जाएं तो दुकानें ही दिखती हैं आपको आसपास. तो अगर मैं राजकोट में खोलता हूं या गुवाहाटी में खोलता हूं, तो क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी सोच सकता हूं ऑन अ ऑप्टिमिस्ट वैल्यू इन अ स्ट्रक्चर. तो क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी हो सकती है, कितना स्क्वायर फीट का काम हम कर सकते हैं. आपने सिर्फ एक बहुत छोटी अमाउंट पे कैलकुलेट किया, 20,000 स्क्वायर फीट का तो एक रिटेलर ऑर्डर हो सकता है. You know, if you one single store is 20,000 square feet, right? You can get a simple Vishal Mega Mart, which is 20,000 square feet. उस पे कैलकुलेट करके इन्होंने बताया कि आप अपना सारा पैसा निकाल सकते हैं. लेकिन और मैं आपको बताता हूँ, इन्होंने आपको कैपिटल में बताया, क्योंकि ये अगर कोई और कंपनी होती, क्योंकि दे आर नॉट बिजनेस माइंडेड, दे डिजाइन सेंट्रिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. अगर कोई और कंपनी होती तो टोटल केपेक्स को बोलती, सिर्फ आपका केपेक्स जो है वो 3 लाख रुपया फ्रेंचाइज फीस का है, क्योंकि बाकी तो आपका वर्किंग कैपिटल, आप सिर्फ स्टॉक कर रहे हैं जो रोटेट करेगा. सो रियली रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल तो शायद पहले महीने में आ जाए आपका. So this is not about 15-month return. This can give you return in the first month, because rest is your working capital stock, which is going to rotate. But let's start with what is opportunity size. Second, what sport you would give it to some new franchisees जो शुरू करेंगे और उनको अपना बिजनेस शुरू करना है. और थर्ड, एक्विजिशन साइकिल में आप शुरू में क्या हेल्प करेंगे, क्योंकि पहले शुरू में because I have no success story and I'm in Rajkot, I started with you. तो ये 3 क्वेश्चन है, अपॉर्चुनिटी साइज, स्पोर्ट एंड एक्विजिशन साइकिल.
Okay, I'll take it, Manpreet. You're correct. You know, the blueprint that we put forward, actually we think that opportunity is almost 3 times 3x or 4x of what can be done. But what we were looking at in terms of, you're correct, meaning that we said we are looking at the fact is that completely de-risk our partners right in the beginning. So actually 20,000 square feet of retail space can be fulfilled in less than a quarter, you know, but the top line of that is about 2 crores, right? Be it Rajkot. Now, in terms of actually, there are smaller stores, right? There are smaller, denser stores. And actually, if you go to the outskirts of those towns, there are larger stores, you know, where the new entrants are coming in, right? So the opportunity mix, it will be that there'll be a mixture of let's say, 1,000 square feet store or an 800 square feet store with smaller stores getting converted. Because what we noticed is in existing marketplaces, there is always a resistance first to be the first mover, you know. But the minute, let's say in a denser area, I mean, I could tell you in a store in Goa, the fact is, a minute one store modernizes, then it acts as a catalyst, because there is the footfalls increase and the other people who don't. So purely in terms of numbers, I think we could have possibly put larger numbers rather than 20,000 square feet in the first year. But I think this is what we're saying, that your ROI, as you correctly said, if I take the inventory of 16 lakhs out, then literally the overall investment amount actually to get going is not high at all. Partly this is where we are coming at. In terms of how we are going to assist them is actually it's in terms of helping them wherever is the store to be able to build, help them locate it well, and in terms of creating anything to do with the brand there, in terms of signage, we're going to help them with launching of the product there, in advertising, local area advertisement, in social media marketing, etc., to create a buzz there in that community that, okay, now people are here to solve, let's say, your retail needs. This is in the initial bit, meaning anything to do with the marketing and advertising is something that we will assist our partners to launch, and then subsequently on a definite program to help them periodically every quarter to have a advertising, be it from social media or be it actually print advertising. We'll help them with that. Of course, meaning needless to say, obvious things in terms of sales training and installation training, all the backend in terms of operational training, of course, we will provide. So we have the material, and purely in terms of how to sell, etc. Also, we've had 8 years of trying to sell this idea, So we've got a lot of experience on how to simplify it, to be able to communicate it, like simple tricks, like you were saying, that just that before after picture, it creates a huge impact. So whenever we've gone out, everyone has said, look, I want it. And the next question that follows is, okay, how much is it, right? So there is, it's a sensitive place where you have to literally sort of bring in the aspects of costing or aspects of how you design a store. So we make it participatory. We help them to actually, in a way, because of their experience, to a degree, they bring their knowledge into designing of the store, and our experience and knowledge comes in to suggest that, you should have this category in the beginning, you should have that category in the end, so people can walk to the end of the store. So there is a kind of a design backing that we bring, which is actually critical. And there is great satisfaction when that person actually opts in for this, is because he feels that he is empowered to have literally changed his own future. He's also helped in creating his own store. That is from a sales perspective. And I think, what was the third question, Mr. Maria? I think it's slipped my mind.
I think you covered both acquisition, sport, and the opportunity size. So all three we are in one discussion. So I would like to now bring in Sonia. Sonia, if you want to take some questions, we have already 12, but a few questions we can really, we can still take 2 questions.
Thank you. I think we've covered a lot in the presentation itself, but I'll pick some questions from the audience, and some which I wanted to start off was, with respect to the cost effectiveness, is a lot of our investors would like to know, because, they're used to the old traditional ways of renovation, how cost effective these are, one. And if you can also maybe, touch upon the current competition which is there in this category.
So first is, the current competition literally comes from 2 categories. One is carpenters, but lesser and lesser people are opting for carpenters. And the competition comes from actually supermarket fixtures, off the shelf. So the old traditional quote, not traditional, meaning, yeah, you can call it traditional now because they've been around for years. The supermarket fixtures. Now the product range these guys have is just 5 units. There is a wall unit, there is either a gondola, there's an end cap, and there's a cash counter, And all of these products, there's a default kind of a product range, 5. And we've looked at least about 25 companies spread across all tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So there is a small company which makes, let's say, a supermarket rack in a very small outlet in Rajkot, for instance, right? So we've looked at the various price points, so where we are positioned is that we have a product price point, which actually, of course, we can't compete with that local guy with a very small overhead, but you could say that, okay, so if I take the world of our competition, then there are bigger players in the supermarket segment who are, let us say, in the percentile terms, they are anywhere from 80% going up to 100%. They are that expensive because they can't afford, because the infrastructure is that big, right? And then there is this huge chunk, which is really between, you could say, 40% to the 80%, where actually reasonable quality fixtures of these 5 things are available, right? And then there are these guys who use hot rolled sheets, or who use whatever, powder coating in terms of the thicknesses. The quality is suspect. We can't do that. So where we are in this category actually is, we are positioned at about 50 to 60%. We are at 60% at our entry level. So entry level product is about 50 to 60%, right? From a percentile terms, right? And then, but we've seen the way it happens is, what they have seen, it's awareness. So they have seen supermarket racks, right? So what happens is, they start that conversations with the supermarket rack parallel to what we are offering them. But the minute they start and they come to an experience center, they see the other product ranges available, then they say, okay, give me a slider, which is behind glass, or give me a set of drawers, or give me that. So suddenly they start to custom fit their store, right? So on a apples to apples, we are about 50% to 60%. But if he goes for a full range, you could say then we're at the 70% level. We're not at, meaning our range will be from, you could say 50% to 70%, 75% of the market cost across the country. That we're reasonably confident of.
Helpful.
Far more for the same rupee.
Right. So maybe I'll take an example. I think somebody is asking what would it cost somebody to renovate maybe a 200 square feet of space. So in absolute terms, what would this cost be?
So in absolute terms, meaning there are two ways I'll answer this. That if I fitted it out with what our solution for a supermarket fit out will be, yeah, Manpreet, you want to take that, or and correct me if I'm wrong. It would be, let us say, you say 600, 700 rupees a square foot, 1.3 lakhs, 1.4 lakhs, apples to apples, right? But then you start putting custom thing. So so you can add 20, 30,000 rupees more. So 1.6 lakhs to 1.7 lakhs is, I would say, a reasonably well appointed store. I mean, you can always spend more. But this, so at 1.2 to 1.3 lakhs could be a standard, typical default, 200 square feet store.
I'll take another question, which is also on the, I would say, the life of the product, or maybe a warranty or MC for the customers. Is there something like that we're offering, or we're committing certain number of years as a warranty or a guarantee to them? And does this product require any kind of maintenance too?
Okay. Sorry, Manpreet, I'm not letting you speak, but I'll carry on since I've been speaking. So, yeah, we offer 1 year warranty anyway, but actually it's a lifelong warranty. See, the product we're using is made out of mild steel and powder coated. Either it's mild steel or it's stainless steel. It's like your automobile, or it's like a Godrej Almari. Once you buy a Godrej Almari, it stays and you hand it over to your child, right? So literally a store can be handed over to the next generation in terms of, unless it's misused. So the shelf carrying capacity is 60 kilos or 120 kilos. When now 2 people jump on it, the shelf will collapse. Otherwise, there is no reason for this product to actually, when it can last a lifetime. It's as simple as that. And if there are any product defects, meaning let us say whatever happens is free replacement. If at all there's any manufacturing defect, be it in terms of if there is a wire in shipment, if there is a scratch or damage or some powder coating has come off, we will replace it free. So that is covered. 1 year anyway is there. But we normally, if there is, right, in the manufacturing itself, if there's an issue, we promptly replace it. Sure. Does that answer the question?
Okay. 1 or 2 questions I'll take while I have much more to be answered. And friends, I will request any specific questions that you have while we see that coming on the screen. We will request that you reach out on the hotline number and we'll connect for a detailed discussion. So maybe last 2 questions which I like to pick up, is one on the chain stores. We talked about some chain stores, while the bigger, I would say, opportunity that we're considering is for the unorganized segment. But every city would also have some, retail stores or these chains, which might not be a national chain. So, and also some of these might be national. For example, you're working, there's some pictures that we have seen. So will some kind of benefit be passed on to a franchisee? For example, if you acquire a chain and that chain exists in certain locations where the franchisee is also located, will that be fulfilled through him, or will we keep that, out of his purview?
Manpreet, why don't you take that?
Yeah, so in terms of chain stores, now if the franchisee has acquired any specific store and he gets an inquiry about, a few number of stores that is planned in his city, we'll definitely work around with him. And if there is a volume business that the chain is assuring over a time, so then we can have a discussion, about that based on the kind of volume that they're assuring. But if there's a lot of chain that directly also going to be hitting us, and we would be passing on these inquiries as and when, depending on how the business is going on, to the local franchisees that are there across the country. And we will be having a different kind of arrangement for, the businesses that we pass on. Because end of the day, see, all these partners that are going to be joining us across the country are part of us now. And we want to make sure that, and one of the clear objective is that each city, we have someone, so that we have a reach spread, because that's one of the key reasons also that we're looking to have franchises, because we get tons of inquiries across the country, and people like to, visit us, see us, but sometimes they can't do that. Now having these franchise partners across, will help us, easily tell them, just go closest to the nearest person who's there and, visit him. He's the one, he'll guide you through the whole process and, give you the sale that is required. So that's one of the also key reasons. And I think in terms of the branded stores, like we just talked about, I think these will have to be discussed one-to-one, depending on the opportunity and the size that are there.
Helpful. And I think one last question, which while we did touch that in the presentation, is a question from Mr. Jeet. He's saying these fixtures, one fixed, are these permanent structures or they can be moved, taken out and be refixed into a new store?
So, I mean, that's one of the best part about Quicktile is that, it's completely modular, and it's something, it comes in, let's say, small boxes. You can easily unpack, take it to your new location. If in case, let's say, some people have a rented property and the rental stops at a specific area and he wants to move to another location. The beauty is that he takes this, and even if he's increased his store size from, let's say, 200 to 400 square feet, the best part is all this gets used, and he just has to take some more material to finish up the new store that he has now. So it's not that the investment that he's done currently gets redundant. It's an add-on feature that is there. Plus, also in his existing store, there's always, we see customers have repeat orders. They want to add on a lot of elements after they've done something. The beauty is the customization that is possible with the product, and he himself starts understanding that once he starts using it.
Right, very dynamic. And Deepak Chi from Bangalore, we'll come back to you. I think we did cover on the competition part. You might have missed on that. And he's looking for Bangalore, and I see some other locations like Bombay and some other parts of South India also. And friends, my request to all of you would be, since we have overshot the time, I will request if you can all reach out on the hotline number. We'll put that hotline number in the chat box, and we'll also request maybe a date in the coming week where we can request Manpreet ji and Niladri ji for their time, and also Mr. Saket Rona, who's there on the webinar, to maybe fix a half an hour, 45 minutes on Zoom. And if anybody is local in Delhi NCR, more than welcome to come and meet in person to have a detailed chat on the opportunity. So any date, Niladri ji, that you want to advise?
I think tentatively we've sort of fixed about 8, if I'm not mistaken. 8 or any date that is convenient. But I think 8th is something that we've
Right. Right.
Yes, sir. 8th is the date which we have, ma'am. 8th is the date which we have fixed for Discovery Day.
Right. So we have exactly a week from today, have next week being Thursday. And friends, in the meantime, please reach out to us. Our teams too will reach out to us with the information that you seek. And before we close, Niladri ji and Manpreet ji, maybe a last word that you want to give to the audience, which is here listening both live and in the webinar.
Okay, so I'll just thank you so much for listening to us. I mean, what I feel is that initially when we started this, we sometimes would feel that the opportunity is so big, why isn't it happening? So what we realized is that, there is a set of time and a set of circumstances and which we have no control over. In fact, COVID in a way has actually highlighted the need, which we never anticipated, right? So I think we've reached a kind of an inflection point. So this modernization is going to take place anyway. Now, either all of us come together and actually become a part of actually this whole transformation, because this is an inflection point that has happened. So it would be wonderful to join with our partners all around the country for this. And very simply put, I don't see any risk in it, if you honestly ask me. In some businesses, there is a kind of a risk. Here it's, it's just how much of it can we realize is the question, rather than will we succeed or not. So Manpreet, you want to add something to that?
So I think you've put it up well. It's just that we welcome all the participants, and I think thank you for being part of this event. We're quite excited about this partnership, and especially for the the ones who are going to be joining us in the next few weeks, because we think this is an extension arm of ours, and we look at that as a big opportunity now to be present across the country. We've been actually, just to add on, we've been getting inquiries across the globe. We're right now addressing a store also in Pinner in UK. We've been getting these inquiries from a lot of emerging markets, Africa, South America. So the opportunity is big. It's just that we are taking baby steps to kind of move across each level, get everything sorted in terms of focus on the right areas, and I think for everyone the opportunity is great. thank you. I think thank you for part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you, Sonia and Archana. Thanks a lot for
nice and for a great partnership and a great year ahead. And we're very excited about the opportunity. And on 8th, we will invite the people who are have a similar thinking and see the opportunity of this huge modernization which India is going to see over the next few years. So thank you very much for joining in today.
Thank you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maria, Sonia, and all the participants. Look forward.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everyone.
Over to you, Archana.
Thank you so much, Niladri sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Manpreet. Thank you, Saket, for joining in today. It was a great learning working with you for this particular webinar. We would like to thank Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. All the dear participants, please do reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 9717683838. We request each one of you to save this number in your phone book so that you get a regular updates on different franchise options from our side through broadcast messages. You can also connect with us at different social handles, information on your screen. We request each one of you to please subscribe our Facebook page. The link is Franchiseindia Brands Limited. Go under video section to see all the previously done webinar. Also share your suggestions and feedback with us because that will help us in improving our process. You can also connect with Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn IDs. Information on your screen. And tomorrow, under 283rd edition of this webinar series, we invite you to join the journey of F&B brand, which we are bringing for you. Roll Point is the brand we are bringing for you. So please do registration at same business hotline number today so that you get a confirmation mail from our side. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Manpreet ji.